the dream that lasts.
Welcome to the Startup Venture Lab podcast, the place where ambitious entrepreneurs turn ideas into profitable online businesses. Whether you're launching your first startup, scaling to six figures, or looking for game-changing growth hacks, you're in the right place. Join us as we break down proven strategies, expert insights, and real-world success stories so you can build, grow, and dominate in the new digital world. Ready to take action? Let's dive in with our host and tech entrepreneur, J. Todd Jennings. Over to you, JT.
Yes, into cash, yeah. No more 9 to 5. Hey, woo, woo. Boss out, stand out, go fast. Let's build a dream that lasts. Let's go. Success starts now.
Welcome to the Startup Venture Lab podcast, the place where ambitious entrepreneurs turn ideas into profitable online businesses. Whether you're launching your first startup, scaling to six figures, or looking for game-changing growth hacks, you're in the right place. Join us as we break down proven strategies, expert insights, and real-world success stories so you can build, grow, and dominate in the new digital world. Ready to take action? Let's dive in with our host and tech entrepreneur, J. Todd Jennings. Over to you, JT.
Welcome. I am JT, and today we have another episode from the Startup Venture Lab. We are joined by my colleague and tech trainer, Paul Lawrence, to talk about as these AI models continue to rapidly improve and compete with one another, a new business model is coming into view: vertical AI agents. Okay, so get this. Imagine software that doesn't just, help you with tech, but completely takes them over.
Whoa.
We're talking entire job functions handled by AI, not just little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
That's the potential of vertical AI agents.
And today, we're going to try to figure out why some seasoned investors think this could be the next huge wave in tech.
Huge.
Yeah. Even bigger than the SaaS boom.
It's a bold claim for sure.
It is.
What makes you, I think they're onto something?
Well, we've got a fascinating source for this deep dive.
Okay.
A recent Y Combinator discussion on YouTube,
Oh, cool.
featuring Gary Tan, Jared Heyman, and Dina Hugh, and these guys
They've backed hundreds of startups, right?
so they know a thing or two about spotting emerging trends,
Y Combinator. Yeah, they've got a pretty impressive track record.
for sure. So what's the core of their argument? Why vertical AI agents and why now?
Okay, let's unpack this.
They start by drawing this really compelling analogy to the rise of software as a service or SaaS.
Remember, SaaS is everywhere now.
Yeah,
But back in the day, it wasn't this obvious winning category. It took time for people to see the power of cloud-based software over those clunky CD-ROMs.
right? The shift wasn't immediately apparent, but once it took hold,
It completely revolutionized the software industry.
totally.
We saw the birth of giants like Salesforce,
The OG SaaS player.
totally, and companies like Gusto, which transformed how we handle payroll.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy to think about how much has changed,
Yeah, it's amazing.
and that's exactly the point the Y Combinator investors are making. They're saying that just like SAS disrupted traditional software,
hmm
vertical AI agents could disrupt SAW itself.
Now that's a bold prediction. It is.
But how exactly do they see this playing out?
Well, they argue that these agents go beyond just software.
Okay,
They essentially combine the software with the people element.
automating entire workflows from start to finish.
Interesting.
And the key here is that they're vertical,
Okay,
meaning they're laser focused on solving very specific problems within particular industries.
so it's not about creating a general purpose AI that can do a bit of everything, right? It's about finding those niches where AI can truly excel because it's been trained on a very specific set of tasks and data.
Exactly. And that specialization allows them to achieve a level of customization and effectiveness that broader AI solutions just can't match.
So instead of trying to build an AI that can do everything from writing emails to managing your calendar, right?
You build one that's specifically designed to, say, automate the process of screening job applicants for a tech company.
Right. And to illustrate this, they highlight a bunch of really interesting companies that are already doing this.
Oh, cool.
One that caught my eye is called Outset.
Okay.
They're using AI to streamline surveys and data analysis.
Interesting.
specifically targeting marketing and product teams.
So instead of marketing teams drowning in data and struggling to make sense of it all, Outset's AI agent could analyze the data, identify key trends, and even suggest actionable insights.
Exactly. It's like having a superpowered data analyst on your team, but without the need to hire a whole team of analysts.
That's powerful.
It is. And then there's InCheck,
Okay.
a company that's automating QA testing for software.
Wow. They're essentially aiming to eliminate the need for dedicated QA teams.
Now, that's a potential game changer. QA testing is a huge pain point for software companies,
Yeah,
and automating it could save them a ton of time and money.
right? And it gets even more interesting. Okay.
There's a company called Priora that's using AI to handle the initial screening process for tech recruiting.
Oh, wow.
Sifting through hundreds of resumes trying to find the right candidate.
I've been there.
It's a time suck.
It is. And it's not just about time savings. It's about removing potential bias from the equation.
Oh, interesting.
An AI agent can evaluate candidates based purely on their skills and experience without being influenced by things like gender, race, or even the way someone writes their resume.
I see what you mean. It's about creating a more objective and efficient process.
Precisely.
Okay, one more example that really stood out to me was Cap.ai.
Okay.
They're providing AI-powered customer support specifically for developer tools.
Now, that's a smart niche.
Yeah,
Developer tools off have complex documentation that can be difficult for users to navigate.
for sure.
So instead of having a massive human support team,
Yeah,
Cap AI's AI agent can handle a lot of those routine queries, freeing up human agents to deal with the truly complex issues.
exactly. It's all about finding those tasks that are repetitive and time-consuming.
The kind of things that humans are frankly not that great at.
Yeah, we get bored easily.
Totally. And that's where AI agents can really shine. Makes sense.
But it's not just about text-based AI.
Oh,
The investors were also super excited about the advancements in voice AI.
it really is amazing how quickly voice AI has gone from sounding clunky and robotic to incredibly realistic.
I know, right?
Remember those old school chatbots with their stilted responses?
We've come a long way since then.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like, how can I help you today?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to talk to a real person.
Right. And yet, there's a company called Salient that's using realistic AI voices to automate debt collection calls and apparently seeing good results.
Now, that's an interesting application.
It is,
It raises some important questions about the future of work. Yeah,
especially in industries that rely heavily on voice interactions.
absolutely. It seems like we're at a tipping point
Uh huh.
where AI is becoming capable of handling tasks that we previously thought only humans could do.
Right. And
And that's got a lot of people wondering, what does this mean for the future of work?
it's a big question and one that we'll definitely explore in more depth later in our deep dive.
We will.
But for now, let's stick with these real world examples. Another one that caught my attention was PowerHell.
They're offering AI-powered customer support that goes way beyond those simple chatbots we've all encountered.
Right? They're designed to handle complex workflows and actually resolve customer issues, not just provide canned responses.
Or transfer you to a human agent. Crowded space for sure.
Yeah,
There are tons of companies claiming to offer AI-powered customer support, right?
but as the Y Combinator investors pointed out, most of them are only scratching the surface.
Okay,
They're using basic AI that can't really replace a human support team.
yeah, they see that.
But companies like PowerHelp, yeah, they're building the kind of sophisticated software needed to handle those complex workflows, the kind of stuff that a real customer support team deals with day in and day out. Exactly. And what's exciting for them is that there's still very little market penetration for this kind of solution.
Oh, really? Yeah,
So the opportunity is massive.
it is. Okay, so we've seen some really cool examples of vertical AI agents in action.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But before we move on, I want to go back to something you said earlier about these agents being vertical.
Okay,
Can you break that down a bit more? What exactly makes them different from other AI solutions?
sure. Think of it this way. Imagine a general purpose AI kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
Okay.
It can do a lot of different things,
Mm-hmm.
but it might not be the best tool for any specific task.
Gotcha.
A vertical AI agent, on the other hand, is like a specialized tool, like a scalpel.
So instead of trying to be a jack of all trades, they're masters of one.
Exactly. And that's why they're so powerful. Yeah, they're able to go deep into a specific problem, understand the nuances, and develop highly effective solutions.
That makes a lot of sense. And it seems like the Y Combinator and investors are betting big on this approach.
Yeah, they are.
But I'm curious, is there a risk that these agents become too specialized?
What if a company needs a solution that spans multiple verticals?
That's a great question, and it's something that the investors themselves grappled with in the discussion.
Yeah, they pointed to Rippling, a company that's essentially trying to build a suite of HR tools as a potential counterexample to the verticalization trend.
Right? Rippling is aimed to consolidate a bunch of different HR functions into one platform.
Which seems to go against the idea of hyperspecialization.
Yeah, it does.
But how are they reconciling that with the potential of vertical AI agents?
That's what we'll discuss in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, can't wait.
Picking up where we left off, it's fascinating how Rippling is approaching this challenge. You know,
Yeah,
they're essentially building a platform that allows for both broad HR functionality and specialized vertical AI agents.
okay. Working within that framework. Think of it as a sort of best of both worlds scenario,
So they're not just rejecting the idea of verticalization,
right?
they're trying to find a way to integrate it into a broader solution.
But why is this so interesting to investors?
Well, the Y Combinator folks highlighted that Rippling is attracting serious talent,
Oh, wow.
including founders who are building out specific verticals within their platform.
Really?
It's almost like a mini ecosystem of specialized AI agents, all working together under the Rippling umbrella. So it seems like there might be multiple paths to success in the vertical AI agent space.
It does seem that way.
Some companies might stay laser focused on a single niche, while others might build out these broader platforms that encompass multiple related functions. It's like evolution and action. Yeah, different species finding their own niches in the ecosystem.
Exactly. And this diversity is actually a really good thing for the overall growth of the AI landscape. But there's another angle to this whole rippling situation that's worth is exploring.
Okay.
It challenges the assumption that vertical AI agents will automatically lead to a more fragmented market.
Oh, interesting. You mean instead of having a bunch of tiny companies, each specializing in one tiny task, right?
We could see some consolidation with companies like Rippling offering a suite of AI-powered solutions.
Precisely. It's still early days. Yeah.
So it'll be fascinating to see how this all plays out. Will we see a few mega companies dominate each industry, or will the specialized nature of these agents lead to a more diverse and competitive landscape? Only time will tell.
That's a pretty big question mark. Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a moment, okay?
And zoom in on something that really struck me in the Y Combinator discussion.
The sheer speed of innovation in the AI space,
Oh, yeah.
I think feels like we went from basic text generation to AI that can handle customer support calls in the blink of an eye.
It's true. What's fascinating is how this pace of development is changing the game for both companies and workers.
Yeah,
Think about it. The barrier to entry for building sophisticated AI solutions is lower than ever before.
so instead of needing massive teams of engineers and data scientists, right?
A small startup with a clever idea and a solid understanding of I can create a really powerful vertical AI agent.
Exactly. And that's what has investors so excited.
Yeah, I can see why.
It's leveling the playing field in a way that we haven't seen before in tech. Suddenly, the little guy has a shot at competing with the giants.
That's the democratizing power of tech and technology at work. But of course, there's a flip side to this coin.
Ooh,
If AI agents can automate so many tasks,
right?
what happens to the people who used to do those jobs? Yeah,
I mean, are we all going to be out of work?
It's a valid concern and one that we can't just brush aside.
The reality is that some jobs will be displaced by AI.
Yeah,
It's just like the Industrial Revolution.
which led to the automation of manual labor. Now we're seeing the automation of cognitive labor.
That's a sobering thought. Hmm.
But the investors in the Y Combinator discussion didn't seem all that worried. In fact, they were quite optimistic about the future of work in an AI powered world,
They were.
weren't they?
They were. And their argument is actually quite compelling.
Okay,
They believe that in the long run, AI will create more jobs than it destroys.
interesting.
Think of it this way, by automating those repetitive, low-value tasks, right?
AI frees up human workers to focus on higher level work that requires uniquely human skills.
So it's not about AI taking over. It's about AI augmenting human capabilities.
Kind of like how ATMS changed the role of bank tellers.
Exactly. When ATMs first appeared, people predicted massive unemployment for bank tellers.
Yeah, I remember that.
But what actually happened? ATMs took over the routine tasks like cash dispensing and deposits. Okay,
Allowing tellers to focus on more complex customer interactions, like providing financial advice,
so the nature of the job changed,
right?
but the jobs didn't disappear, right? And I think we'll see a similar pattern with AI agents, okay? They'll handle the tasks that are best suited for machines, the ones that are repetitive, data-driven, and don't require human judgment or empathy.
Which will free us humans up to focus on the tasks that are uniquely human, the ones that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. It's kind of exciting, actually.
It is. Think about it. Instead of spending hours sifting through resumes,
Yeah,
a recruiter could use an AI agent to handle the initial screening, giving them more time to build relationships with candidates and help them find the perfect role.
or imagine a customer support agent who no longer has to deal with routine password resets because an AI is handling those, right?
They could then focus on the complex issues that require human touch.
Exactly. It's not about humans versus machines. It's about humans and machines working together to achieve more than either could alone. That's the real promise of AI.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here.
Good.
But if this is the future of work,
Mhm. What skills are we going to need to thrive in this AI powered world? What should we be focusing on?
that's the key question in this new landscape. Yeah,
The most valuable skills will be those that complement AI strengths.
okay.
Things like creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence.
And the ability to adapt to rapid change. Those are the skills that will set humans apart from machines.
So it's not about becoming a robot ourselves, it's about honing the skills that make us uniquely human. Precisely. And those are the skills that we should be focusing on developing in ourselves and in future generations.
We need to prepare people for a world where working alongside AI is the norm.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's zoom out a bit
Okay, and
and talk about the implications for businesses. The Y Combinator investors seem pretty excited about how these agents could boost efficiency and productivity.
right? If you can automate entire workflows,
Yeah,
you can eliminate wasted time, reduce errors, and
and free up your human workers to focus on higher value tasks. It's a win win.
but they also highlighted some of the challenges that companies are facing when implementing these agents.
Data seems to be a major hurdle.
Absolutely. Just like any AI, these agents need high-quality industry-specific data to train their models and function effectively. And that data can be tough to come by.
Gathering, cleaning, and labeling data.
Yeah,
It's time consuming and expensive.
exactly. It can be a major barrier to entry, especially for smaller startups that may not have the resources to build robust data pipelines.
It's not just about the data itself, though. Integration seems to be another major challenge.
Right? You can't just drop an AI agent into an existing system and expect it to work seamlessly.
Yeah,
These agents need to be thoughtfully integrated into existing workflows and systems. And
especially for companies that have legacy systems and complex IT environments. It sounds like a logistical nightmare.
it can be. It requires careful planning, collaboration across different teams.
and often the need for custom software development. It's not a trivial undertaking.
Okay. So we've got the data hurdle, the integration challenge.
Yeah,
Anything else companies need to be thinking about? I mean, we've talked about the impact on workers, but how do you actually manage that transition within a company? That,
that's a critical point. Companies need to be proactive about managing the shift.
yeah,
They need to train their employees on how to work effectively with these agents,
okay.
address any concerns about job security,
And foster a culture that embraces AI as a tool for empowerment.
it's not just about implementing the technology, it's about bringing people along on the journey, right? That makes me think about the whole issue of trust.
Oh, yeah,
How do you build trust in an AI agent?
both for the company using it and the customers interacting with it.
That's the $1 million question.
It is.
People need to be confident that these agents are reliable, accurate, and fair.
Yeah.
They also need to know that their data is being handled responsibly and ethically,
So transparency is key. Companies need to be open about how these agents work,
right?
what data they're using.
And how they're making decisions.
Exactly. We can't treat AI as a black box. We need to be able to look under the hood and understand what's going on. And companies need to be proactive in building trust with their employees and customers, explaining how the agents work, soliciting feedback.
And addressing any concerns openly and honestly.
It's about building a relationship of trust with this new technology
Yeah,
rather than just forcing it on people.
exactly. AI shouldn't be something that's imposed on us, right? It should be something that we work with collaboratively.
Okay? So we've covered a lot of ground here, the potential benefits,
We have,
the challenges, the importance of trust, and the need for transparency. But there's one more point from the Y Combinator discussion that I want to circle back to the idea that vertical AI agents could democratize access to expertise.
yes, that's a fascinating concept. Imagine a world where even small businesses and individuals, yeah, have access to the same sophisticated AI tools that were previously only available to large corporations.
It's like giving everyone a superpower.
It could really level the playing field and empower people in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
It also raises some intriguing questions about the role of education and training in an AI powered world. Yeah,
If these agents can perform tasks that previously required specialized knowledge,
right? How do we need to adapt our education systems to prepare people for the jobs of the future?
that's a huge question, one we'll have to tackle in the final part of our deep dive. But for now, I think it's safe to say that vertical AI agents are poised to disrupt just about every industry imaginable.
It's going to be a wild ride. You know, it's funny, we started this deep dive talking about how vertical AI agents could like revolutionize businesses and industries.
Yeah,
But as we've been discussing, you know, it goes way beyond that. It's about reshaping very fabric of how we work, learn, and even think about the future.
it really is a fundamental shift. And like any major technological advancement, it comes with its own set of opportunities and challenges.
For sure.
We've touched on some of the potential upsides: increased efficiency, democratized access to expertise, and the creation of new and more fulfilling jobs. But we need to acknowledge the potential downsides as well.
Right? And one of the big ones that keeps coming up in discussions about AI is the issue of control.
Yeah,
As these agents become more are sophisticated and autonomous, how do we ensure that we retain control over them? I mean, we've all seen those sci-fi movies where the robots take over,
it's a valid concern. We don't want to create AI systems that operate completely outside of our understanding or control.
right?
But the good news is that we're a long way from that dystopian scenario.
Okay?
The AI we're talking about today is still very much task oriented. It's designed to solve specific problems within specific domains.
So it's not like these agents are suddenly going to develop consciousness and decide to take over the world.
Not quite. But that doesn't mean we can just ignore the issue of control.
We need to be thinking about it now as we're developing and deploying these technologies, right?
We need to build in safeguards, establish clear ethical guidelines, and ensure that humans remain in the loop.
So it's about responsible development, not just focusing on what we can do, but also considering what we should do.
Exactly. And that requires a multi-seated approach. It's about bringing together experts from different fields: computer scientists, ethicists, social scientists, policymakers.
To create a framework for responsible AI development.
It's like we're building a new society, and we need to make sure we're laying the foundation for a society that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
I like that analogy. And building a new society requires us to be thoughtful and deliberate.
Yeah,
It's not about rushing headlong into the future. It's about taking measured steps, learning from our mistakes, and constantly adapting,
okay, so we've talked about control.
right?
But there's another big concern that comes up whenever we talk about AI bias.
We know that AI models are trained on data.
Yeah,
And if that data reflects existing biases in our society, those biases will be baked into the AI.
it's the classic garbage in, garbage out problem. If we train an AI agent on biased data, it's going to make biased decisions, and that could have a real impact on people's lives.
Right? Imagine an AI agent used in hiring that's been trained on data that shows for male candidates, or an AI agent used in loan applications that's biased against certain ethnic groups.
These are serious issues, and we need to be vigilant about addressing them. It's not enough to just build powerful AI systems. We need to make sure those systems are fair and equitable.
So, what can we do? How do we prevent these biases from creeping into AI systems?
Well, it starts with the data. We need to be very careful about the data we use to train these models. We need to make sure it's representative, diverse, and free from harmful biases.
So, it's not just about the quantity data, it's about the quality of data.
Exactly. And even with the best data, we need to constantly monitor these systems for bias, test them rigorously, and be prepared to make adjustments as needed.
It sounds like building ethical AI is a continuous process, not a one time fix.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing commitment to fairness, transparency, and accountability. We need to be constantly asking ourselves, are these systems serving everyone equally? Are they perpetuating harmful biases? And if so, what can we do to fix it? And
It's a heavy responsibility, but it's one that we can't shy away from. If we want to build a future where AI benefits all of humanity, we need to be thoughtful and deliberate about how we develop and deploy these technologies.
I completely agree. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the values that we embed in the technology. It's about making sure that AI aligns with our human values of fairness, justice, and equality.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of vertical AI agents, I'm left with a sense of both awe and cautious optimism. Awe at the incredible power of this technology and cautious optimism that we can harness this power for good.
I share that sentiment. It's an exciting time to be alive, to be witnessing the birth of a new era, but it's also a time for reflection, for asking tough questions, and for making sure that we're building a future that we can all be proud of.
And to our listeners, I would say this: stay engaged, stay informed, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and most importantly, use your voice to help shape the future of AI.
This is not a spectator sport. We all have a role to play in ensuring that AI is used ethically, responsibly, and for the benefit of all humankind. Thanks for joining the Startup Venture Lab podcast and our deep dive into the fascinating and ever-evolving world of vertical AI agents. If you're thinking of starting an online business, side hustle, or looking to grow your business, check out our free community at startupventurelab.com. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that's shaping the future. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
This podcast is brought to you by the Startup Venture Lab. If you're interested in starting an online business, have an idea, or are looking to grow your business, check out our exclusive member community online at startupventurelab.com.
You're in control.